It's story time and story time. Story time. We're not Larry or Bob, but it's story time.
Welcome to Storytime with Lamont, the part of the show where Lamont comes out and tells us a story.
I'm Lamont, a storyteller and a connoisseur.
And I'm Leah, the microphone-holding story listener.
And you're
tuning into the Lamont N Leah Podcast.
Oh my gosh. So, Leah, you originally moved away from California to Hawaii to get some independence, but also mainly because you felt a need to connect to your culture.
This is true. I left when I was 17. And yeah, I specifically wanted to go to the University of Hawaii at Manoa so I could get to know my culture, and I wanted to go far away so I could gain some independence.
And you shared some of your culture with us when you told a story a few weeks ago.
I did, and if you haven't checked it out yet, we'll link it so you can.
It was a great story.
Yeah, it was.
So I decided, I was inspired. So we've been talking about, okay, let's do story time with Lamont. And I was inspired. I was like, man, I need to do something of my culture. But being Black in America, there's not a lot of culture. But I felt like I needed to tell, a Black story. Mm-hmm. And because I was telling you during Pride Month, I was like, it needs to be a Black, gay, or LGBT plus story.
Yeah.
So today on the Lamont N Leah Podcast, I will be telling a story.
Awesome. I'm very excited. I did just want to point out that I lost my microphone stand, so that's why I'm holding it. If you're watching and you're wondering, what is she holding? This is my microphone. But anyway, on to the story, because that's what we're actually here for.
That is what we're here for. All right, so we're going to need to name the characters. So what's a good, not ghetto, but a good healthy Black name?
Lamont, you're going to get us canceled. Not a ghetto name. Goodness. Marcus.
Marcus? All right, I feel like that's more Latino, though, no?
I don't think I know a single
Latino
Actually, Marcus.
I do. I do. He's my straight husband.
I only know, Black guys who are named Marcus, actually.
But you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking now, in Tyler Perry's, why they get married? Wasn't his name Marcus? Marcus! She was always Angela was always Marcus! All right, so that'll work. Yeah. And then what would be maybe not a common white name, but a nice name for a white person boy. Man.
Billy.
Just
no, let's not do Billy. I was joking. I'm assuming this is the love interest.
Yes.
Give
me secret dirty.
Daniel, you gave it away when you said it's a gay story, and you said two men's name.
Daniel. We'll probably call Daniel Danny.
Okay, Danny. I like Danny.
But his name is Daniel. Then there's a horse, a beloved horse. And there's a horse. Okay. And that horse needs a name.
Sugar.
It's a boy horse.
Sugar. His name is Sugar. Sugar the horse.
That's fine. I feel like the Black family could call it the horse.
That was unintentional. I was just thinking, okay, horse, sea biscuit, biscuits, sugar. That's what I was thinking.
So there's also an additional horse. So that horse, too, needs a name.
Pizza.
Leah.
Petey the horse.
Okay.
Don't let me name things. I told my mom one day I was going to name my first child Potato, and she about crashed the car.
Oh my
It was
lord.
a joke, but like, I think I might.
All right. So sit back, relax, and let me transport you to a story that takes place in America.
Okay.
It either is like in New York or India. I couldn't really narrow
Indiana.
down the location. The place is called North Salem.
North Salem. Okay. Wait, Salem like witches?
So there's lots of Salem places.
Oh, okay.
But this is North Salem, and it either took place in New York or Indiana.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, Lamont, is this a witch story too?
No, I
Okay, okay, okay.
don't. Wouldn't that be fun though? Oh my
Maybe we'll
gosh,
do a witch
I could
story.
freaking Bonnie Bennett from Vampire Diaries, one of my favorite witches. Okay, anyways, no, it's not a witch story.
Okay.
So in this town of North Salem, there lives a boy named Marcus. And Marcus and his family are the only black people that live in this town.
Oh,
Now,
snap. Okay.
in this town, everyone else is white, and there's about 100 people living in this town.
Dang, that's a small town.
It's
Oh my
a
god.
small town, so everyone knows everyone. And in Marcus' family, he has his mom, his father, and his sister.
Okay.
And obviously, like, it's probably like a farm town. I think everyone lives on farms.
Well, yeah, with only 100 people, probably.
Yeah. And so obviously, Marcus and his family feel different.
Mm.
For example, if there's a town potluck, they are not invited.
Mm.
In any kind of social gathering, they are excluded. Now, the
That's sad.
question is this because they are black?
Wait, how old is Marcus? Like, give me an age
I want
range
to
here.
say, like, he's teetering on the age of 17. He could be 18 already.
Okay,
And
okay, okay. So
is,
teen, little older teen. Got it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. On his way to adulthood,
okay.
like, for sure. So, Marcus' family is getting ready to gear up for a special event. Every 3 years, they race at the North Salem horse race. And Marcus' family has been winning this race for the last, I want to say 5 years? I want to say it was for the last 5 years.
Maybe that's why people don't like them. Maybe they just jealous.
Well, yeah, maybe. This race is very important to Marcus's family because to
Mm-hmm.
them, it represents them having a place in this society, them working hard. So you may not want us to fit in, but we raise really good horses and we can compete and we belong here. We need a seat at the table. So that's kind of like what they're saying. Like,
Okay, yeah.
by this. So this race is extremely important
Mm-hmm.
to Marcus's family.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because Marcus is the only black kid that lives in this town, he doesn't have many friends. He only has his sister, and she's way younger. Like she's like I'm guessing like between like 4, 5, and 6, somewhere around there. And so his only friend is his horse Sugar.
Oh.
He loves Sugar. In fact, Sugar was brought to the farm the same year Marcus was born.
Oh, it's his
They
little
grew
horse
up
buddy.
together.
Like in
Yeah, so
Hercules when they give him the pony.
yeah. So like if he's 18, like this horse is now 18. And I'm not really sure like how old a horse is when they're 18, but it's a pretty old horse.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
of
won a
course.
few good races.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Sugar will not be competing in this year's race.
Oh,
And he will have to race, was it Petey? Petey. He'll have
Petey.
to race Petey. Which is an equally good horse, but doesn't have that special connection that he has with Sugar. One night when Marcus was out, corralling the horses and giving them water and wrapping up his chores for the day, he took a blanket and wrapped it around himself and started looking up at the stars.
When he lives like out in nowhere, oh, the stars probably beautiful. Anyway, sorry.
Then he hears his name being softly called, and he turns his head to look over to see his neighbor, who he named Daniel. Danny. So let's go kind of into the backstory of
Mm-hmm.
Danny. So Danny's the white neighbor, and the boys met about like officially like started hanging out and talking maybe about like 2 to 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
and they started meeting at night at their house, and they share property. So there's this big
Mm-hmm.
huge property, and they have their farm and they have their farm, and there's this ditch in between. And so Marcus's dad decided to fill that ditch with red brick to like show like a red line divide. Like we do not you do not cross our property and we do not cross your property.
That
So there's
sounds
this
like too much work.
yeah, so there's this unspoken rule between the families. Now, Petey's family doesn't like Marcus's family
Oh, his
because
back up. It's Danny. He said Petey. The horse's family doesn't like Marcus's family. He's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a horse on this ranch no more. No more.
okay. So Danny doesn't like Marcus's family
Mhm.
because obviously they're black, right? They're black, they're loud.
They keep winning all the races.
Yeah, like they're just different.
Yeah.
They're super different, right? Marcus's family doesn't like Petey's family because they think they're like,
Danny. So if Danny's family doesn't like Marcus's family, what does Marcus's family think about Danny's family?
so Marcus's family doesn't like Danny's family because they think they're white racists.
Mm.
They're ungodly and they need some Jesus in
They
there.
need some Jesus.
You know how black people are like.
Wait, hold on. Can I do a little side tangent that just reminded me of
Sure.
something? So one day I was driving with my friend, big Samoan guy, right? And we're just driving along. We're having a conversation. I tell him something, and like his thing that he used to tell me all the time when I would tell him something that was surprising, he just turned to me and go, "You need Jesus." So anyway, we're driving down the road. All the windows are down. We're having fun. We're just chit chatting, and I say something to him, and I know he's going to say, "You need Jesus." But instead of turning to me, he turns his head out the window and yells, "You need Jesus." And this little tiny old lady who's walking down the street goes, So now every time I hear that phrase, I think of that story. Anyway, so Danny's family needs Jesus. Got it.
So yes, Danny's family needs Jesus. So obviously the boys are not supposed to be friends. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be talking
Sounds like it.
and stuff. And so, Danny tosses Marcus a can over the red line and says, "Hey, I brought you something." Well, it turns out to be a beer. So let me just say that Leigh and I don't support underage drinking. We want you guys to drink responsibly. Do you have a beer, Leia?
It was just sitting here.
Oh, Leia's like, I can't wait until this show's over. I'm so tired of editing this.
Someone bought them for me, and I just stuck them over here and haven't put them away yet.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
So
for
Leigh and I
our,
don't
for our
condone-
listeners, I just pulled a beer out of thin air.
Yeah. So Leigh and I don't condone underage drinking. We
No.
want people to drink responsibly. All right. So he tosses him a beer. And he was like, "Yeah, I stole this from my dad. We had a hard night." So basically my mom's back home crying. And I told them that I'm done living lives.
Mhm.
Like, I'm hearing he has like a southern accent, kind of like, I'm done living lives. And I just want to be my authentic self, and I don't want to hide anymore. And I like dudes. I like guys. And so his mom, the dad's consulting the mom, and he leaves to go get some fresh air, but really to meet up with Marcus.
Ooh.
So Marcus is
I
like,
see where this is going.
yeah, Marcus is like, "Oh my god, like this guy's coming out to me, and like I've been dreaming about him since the last 2 weeks that we met, and I'm not sure if I like guys. I did like girls, and I dated girls because they were around and was what I was supposed to do, but I definitely like Danny." And so he was like, "Hey man, like thanks for being brave and sharing that you came out to your parents. I'm not sure where I'm at, but I know I like you."
Ooh.
Wow, right?
Wow.
And so Danny is feeling a little like, ooh. It's like, hey, like, I would like to hold your hand right now.
Ooh.
And Marcus is like, I would like you to hold my hand too. So
Ooh.
Danny, he's just like breaking all the
All the
rules
walls, all the
tonight,
rules, all the
and he
barriers.
crosses the red divide
And he crosses. Ooh,
to
okay.
go hold Marcus's hand. So they hold hands and they're looking up at the stars and they're just happy being with each other in this moment.
All romantical.
When all of a sudden, Marcus's cell phone starts to ring.
Mm-mm.
Yes, so he checks it. It's his mama. And he's like, man, I have to go home. The race is tomorrow. My family's been on me about winning this race. I feel like if I don't run this race, it's going to let them down. So he's not sharing like all this stuff with Marcus, but basically he has to go. So Danny's like, will you meet me here tonight at midnight? So I'm guessing it's like probably like 8-ish around there.
All right, so it's not too late. Okay.
Yeah, so it's dark, but like they can see stars, but it's not like super late. So Marcus agrees to meet Danny. So Marcus, with a little song in his heart, and his number one diva is Britney. So let me tell you about gay boys, and I'm not sure it's just black gay boys or boys of color, but like I feel like a lot of gay boys have a number one diva. Mine is.
I don't know.
You do too. That is blasphemy and a lie. Say your name, Leah. Say it. Say my name. Say my name.
I was just gonna sing that. Beyonce.
Okay, so mine is Beyonce. His is Britney Spears.
Free Britney, bitch.
Okay, hold on. Listeners, don't get mad. I appreciate Britney's entertaining qualities. When I think of divas, I'm more of a vocalist. So is it fair to say that Britney's vocals hold up to Beyonce's, Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Adele? Like, come on, like, let's be honest. We love Britney. We love her entertainment. We love what she's done for pop culture and gay culture and all that. But she's whatever. But anyways, all right. So his number one diva is Britney Spears, and he has Britney Spears posters in his room. So he's a little song in his heart, and it's probably like "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." Like, all right. So he's walking up the road, and his mom's outside, and she's like, "Hey, I have some news for you. So, as you know, Sugar will not be racing tomorrow. Sugar's super old." And we have to put Sugar down because we can no longer afford to care for Sugar. And Sugar's just at the end of their lifeline, at the end of the rope.
Excuse me.
I know, right?
We're doing what?
That's exactly how he's feeling. As his mom's telling him, like, you're talking about putting down my best friend.
Why is she dropping this the day before the race? Also,
yeah, the day before the race, and you want me to win the race, right? For you, right? Like, so there's all these layers going on. And she's like, honey, like, just come in the house. Me and your daddy can talk to you some more. So, like, just come on in the house. I don't know where that voice came from. I just thought it would be fun. All right, so he's like, yeah, give me a minute. So the mom and the sister walk back into the house. He's trying to like just like cool off, deep breathe, like process what really just happened right now. And so he saunters on into the house. Now, when he gets into the house, his daddy's waiting for him on the couch and his mama's sitting right next to him. And they have their little beers or wine or whatever they're drinking out and the Bible.
Of course.
So I grew up in my house. We don't do wine in the Bible. Like, that's just not a thing. But I'm not being judgmental right now. But like, I'm kind of like,
different strokes, different folks,
different ways of being for sure. So dad's like, your mama told me that she told you that we're gonna be putting down Sugar, and I need you to understand how important this race is to our family, because this race means everything to our family, and it's important that you win. And if you don't win, then you're disappointing the family. We have to show these white folks that we belong, that we deserve a place here. Do you understand? So his dad's just like talking to him and going at him. And I've never done voices before.
Lamont.
Am I doing an okay job with these voices?
I can already tell that you're not going to be the mean black daddy. Right, anyway.
So he's just poor Marcus. He's just having a hard time being present, focusing.
It's all within the span of like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Like, he does something that he's never done before.
Mm-hmm.
And as his parents begin to pray that he wins the race and stuff, he gets up, walks upstairs, and maybe not slams his door, but like
he's not trying to die tonight.
Kind of loudly. So like he wasn't stupid, because like in black families it can be really like, you're not gonna slam my door, like
exactly.
we about to beat your butt. So like he's pushing boundaries right now. Like, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna close this door, maybe not slam it, but like they know that I'm upset. And I think he has a right to be upset, right?
Yeah.
So, midnight comes, and he decides to sneak out to go meet Danny.
Ooh.
And so, he creeps past his parents' room. He knows where all the creaky floorboards are, even though he's never snuck out before. Like, he snuck around, like, to go get something to drink. And so,
yeah.
Like, he's like, gonna go meet Danny. And so he sneaks out through the front door, around the house, down the trail to the ditch where Danny's waiting. Danny greets him with a big, huge smile and tells Marcus how beautiful he is.
Ooh, dang,
right?
Danny. He's like, I'm out now, I don't care.
Right? He's like, I'm living my best life. I'm living my authentic life. Starting today. So Danny's like, hey, I really would like to kiss you. And starts walking towards Marcus, crossing the divide again. So this boy is just like moving, like this boy is on target. He's like, right? And so
it's like they just held hands, but like,
I know, right? Like Leah, let's take a slight tangent. Let's go back. When you were like in middle school, because like these guys are older, so like when you were like in middle school, like what were the steps that like led up to your first kiss? Like it wasn't the first thing, right?
No, it was like hang out a lot, sit really close to each other,
maybe touch
bump
a leg
into
quickly.
each other. Yeah, just a little leg thing here and there, a little nudge. Then it was like awkward hand touching and then hand holding. And then like, oh, there's a fly. It just landed on my hand. Like, he wants to hold the hand. Ew! Ew! Anyway, that's moving too fast, fly. I'm taken. You know, and like maybe a few weeks later, and we got to get to the hugging territory first, which was that was
a lot. Like hugs, like you start hugging, and then become a little bit longer. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Same day, man, Danny, moving fast.
Right. This guy, he just knows what he wants, right? So he starts looking at Marcus' eyes, and he says, is it okay if I kiss you?
I mean, at least he asked.
He's being a gentleman. I mean,
there we go.
They're somewhere in the country people. Gentlemen's. So Danny, like, closes his eyes and looks back up, and he's like, and so he leans forward and they share their first kiss. But both of them realize they have to get up bright and early tomorrow because they have to go to the horse race and they will be competing against each other.
And Marcus has got to kick Danny's butt.
Yes, otherwise he's going to bring shame to the family. So they say goodnight with another sweet, gentle kiss and they depart. But honestly, like, Marcus can't go back into his house and go to sleep.
Of course not.
So he goes to the horses and he decides to let Sugar out for one last time. Just to like roam around and feel free in the night air. After a few minutes, he wraps it up. Well, I'm guessing during this time he's contemplating like, what is happening with my life? Like, Sugar's gonna die. I think I like this guy a lot. I just held his hand, I kissed him. My family's probably not going to be okay with it because he's white and a man. There's so much pressure on me to win the race. So, like, all these like thoughts are going through his head as he's like just like trying to get a hold of the whirlwind of a day.
Of a few hours.
Right. So he finally like wraps up his thoughts and is like, I gotta go to bed. He corrals the horse back in, puts sugar away. Um, I think he keeps sugar cubes in his pocket, and he gives
sugar.
a sugar cube, and then heads back home for sleep. It is the morning of the big race, and Marcus is getting out of bed, and usually the family celebrates with a big breakfast and stuff, but this year, like, people are being, like, there's no big breakfast. They want him to hurry, get dressed, so they can get all the animals out, up and loaded, all the vegetables up and loaded, because it's pretty much like a big, huge, like, fair, festival thing. Like, just, things are different. So, he's getting ready and stuff, and he comes out and helps his family load, and across the way, he can see Danny and Danny's family, and they are loading up their horses and animals and vegetables and pie. And Danny secretly waves to Marcus, and Marcus tries to secretly return that wave without anyone noticing. When all of a sudden, and then of course, like, the parents see each other, and so there's that like intense stare off, like
tension, and like
I see you too. And the white people are like, I'm like thinking I'm better than you, and like y'all need Jesus. Like what the black people are thinking. So everyone returns to their chores, and Danny's family ends up wrapping up, and they drive away without Danny, which is kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Danny secretly calls Marcus over to like meet them at their spot.
Yeah.
And so Marcus's family's at a pretty good spot right now. They're getting ready to take off. He's like, hey, like, I'll be right back. I forgot something. So Marcus's mom like, yeah, go get it, boy. Go, hurry up.
Yeah, hurry.
You know? So Marcus goes around the house, down the trail to the thing, and he's realizing from the night before, like, how brave that Danny was, just living his life, like, not being scared to express himself. He's like, I want that for myself too. I need this for myself. I need to break free of like my family's oppressive bonds. He's like, I'm gonna cross that line. And so he backs up, he runs, and he jumps over the like red ditch.
Literally.
as Danny's pulling up or walking up, and Danny's just smiling. He's like, wow, you crossed the line. He's like, yeah, I crossed the line. He's like, what are you doing here? Why didn't you go with your family?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I told them that I would meet them there because I have some things that I need to take care of before I got there. Mainly, I just wanted to talk to you. Do you want to come to my house and talk?
Excuse me, sir.
And so Marcus, knowing that they don't have long because they can get to the race.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be quick. He's like, it won't take long. Like, just want to spend a little bit of time with you before the race.
Suspicious.
So they go to his house, and unfortunately, like, not Marcus's family, Danny's family has MAGA or Magna or whatever that stupid thing is, posters. They have the Confederate flag all around their house, like on like. So if you look at the roof, like it's the Confederate flag just hanging, and then they have the Magna posters and Trump posters. So yeah, like, and Marcus is looking at all this, and Danny catches his eye. He's like, I don't believe any of that stuff. It's all stupid to me, and it doesn't matter. People are people, and you are beautiful.
Ooh.
Right? I like this guy. I like him. They walk upstairs because Danny just wants to show Marcus his room. That's all he wants. And so he shows him his room. They're talking, and he's like, yeah, so are you nervous about today's race? He's like, yeah, like the pressure is on. They talked to me last night, and they were telling me I have to win this, and all the reasons I have to win this and stuff. And so just anxiety starts to grow, and he's like, "Hey, I have to get back. I have to go." And
Right? Like, do you guys have no sense of urgency?
yeah, yeah. Like, so Danny's like, "Okay, I'll see you at the race." And so um, Marcus like sneaks back onto his side of the farm, hoping that his mama's not gonna catch him. His mama's yelling for him, like she's been yelling for him for a while. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "Marcus, Marcus, where are you, boy? Why are these goats out?" So apparently Marcus forgot to close the goat pen
Uh-oh.
before they started packing, so he had to go rile up all the goats. So luckily he didn't get caught. But
Right?
like, so finally, Marcus gets all the goats in. He gets in the truck with his family and takes off with his family. I guess Danny takes off in his own truck, and everyone's arriving at the big Salem
Horse
horse race.
race. Yeah.
So Marcus unloads Sugar because even though like Sugar is not racing, the family still decided to bring Sugar, and then he unloads Petey, and he starts to groom Petey and get Petey ready for the race. And the announcer guy is on the system like 5 minutes to the race, 5 minutes to the race, right? And so he's still getting saddle on and stuff, and he glances over and he sees Danny, and Danny's just like waving at him, and
Jeez.
Danny gets caught by his mom, Danny's mom, and she smacks his hand. Like, what are you doing? And so he just goes back to grooming his horse, and then she gives Marcus a deadly like stare, like. Ew. So Marcus continues to groom the horse and stuff. And Marcus is having this inner battle. Like, he's been thinking about it last night. He talked to his 3 Britney Spears posters about it. Like, man, like, I want to win this race. I want to win this weight race and make my daddy and my family proud. But also, I don't want to win this race. And if I don't win this race, then maybe I can finally speak my truth to my family and Danny's family and stuff. And it's like, so the question is to win or not to win. And Marcus knows. Marcus knows he can win. Like, he's looking at all the other horses. Some of these horses have not been fed properly. Like, his family knows how to get some good horses, raise some good horses. So he's like, these guys have nothing on us. Like, I should just go in and do my best. So the guy's like, 1 minute to the race, 1 minute to the race. All races to their pen or stall or whatever they call it. So Marcus gets to his place, and there's about 30 racers. And the guy pulls out the gun, the race gun, and he points it in the air. Sweat is beating on his lips, and he goes, "Ready, set, boom!" And the gates open, and the horses take off. And Marcus is in the lead with 2 other horses. He can't see Danny anywhere. But like he's gonna keep going. He's like, these 2 horses, like, they're not gonna make it on the final laps. Like, they're being worked way too hard. I'm not gonna work Petey that hard yet. I'm gonna wait and stuff. And so just as he predicted, like, the other 2 fall back, and he takes the lead. And then finally, on that last lap, Danny catches up. And so now the race is head to head between Danny and Marcus, then Danny, then Marcus, and Marcus is ready to pull through that finish line, and he decides, I'm going to rein back. And Danny crosses the line. The crowd explodes. Yeah, the crowd explodes, cheering. And there's so much going on. Like, he can feel anger and heat, but he can also, like, feel a lot of happiness and laughter. There's so much going on. Once all the horses are across the line, they all dismount off and they take the horse to their places, and that's where Marcus's family is waiting for him. His dad is so angry, so mad. And all of a sudden Danny comes over with the trophy. And he's like, this is for you guys. The dad's like, what? And he was like, yeah, this is for you guys. I know how much this means to you. And I have something to tell you. Well, Marcus is like, no, 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 no. Like, this is my moment. I need this moment. We kissed. Just like we kissed. And and it's out there, and Marcus's mom is taken back, like, you kiss? Like, what's he talking about? The little sister's smiling, eating her cotton candy, like, oh my gosh, like
what's
this is
happening?
exciting.
I don't know.
This is about to get good, right? And the dad's like, no, nah, not my son, not my son. Like, this is not of the Lord. This is unchrist-like. Marcus's mom starts praying, like, dear Lord Jesus, please, please cure my son, like, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, Danny's parents come over, and they're like, boy, you're going to Texas to live with your grandpappy. I'm not going to have no gay son.
Grandpappy.
So he grabs him, like the dad grabs Danny, and Marcus is like, no. And he reaches out for Danny, and they grab hands. And the family's just like all stunned. And the guy, the speaker, goes, everyone to the photo. The whatever they call the photo thing. There's a special name for it, I don't remember. And so Marcus is like, we gotta go. We're gonna go take this photo. And unfortunately, that is where the story ends.
What?
Yeah, that's where the story ends.
Ay.
But yeah, so Leah, there's so much to unpack in this
Kind
story.
of.
Yeah, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with racism? Do you want to start with homophobia? Like,
I want to know why this kid decided, oh, let me go ahead and let this other person win, even though, you know what I mean?
yeah, so I guess, like, to him, my understanding, it was his way of choosing to come out. Like, he can't win and then, like, deliver more bad news. It was more like, let there be bad news and then more bad news. Like, since we're already dealing with bad news, let's just like transition into more bad news. Let's take your mind off the like loss and be like, blah, here's a bigger problem kind of thing. That's kind of what I was feeling from it.
I guess. I disagree. I would
Like,
just win to win.
I think it would have been harder for him to be like, hey, we won, by the way, I'm in love with this dude. And y'all have to deal with it. Like, I think that's kind of like how he thought about it.
Maybe. I don't know. I disagree. I don't think that was a great choice on his part.
Choices.
But, yeah, that's really sad that they felt that. Like both sides, the race part and the sexuality part, that they felt like they couldn't go to their families and like be themselves with their families. Yeah. I mean, like, within reason, like, I don't think anyone, most people I know, I should say, are like 100% authentic with their families, but like still, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff I would tell my family, no problem, but still, I don't know, that kind of just sucks. That makes me sad.
I know what you mean. So, the racism, right? Like, the Magna posters, the Confederate flags, just the time, and Trump posters, just the timing, right? So it tells you it's kind of modern day.
Yeah.
But like, man, like, that really sucks. And just because their skin is different, they excluded them from community potlucks, community get-togethers.
I know. Oh man, I'm just like not that type of person. Like I just want to include everybody. Like I don't know. I have very few people that I dislike and don't want to include. So that's such a weird concept. I don't know why you wouldn't, invite everybody just because of something as arbitrary as like a skin color. Like who cares? You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate that that's still alive and well in this world in 2020 something or
2021.
yeah.
21. All right, so to close the episode, to close our Pride Month, I want to bring your attention to this phenomenal woman. Her name is Lindsay. She was introduced to me by a friend of mine, and it's at Lindsay or at underscore LYNEEZY Lindsay. And I want y'all to watch her. She's got 3 minutes of conversation for us, but she's amazing.
All right.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. So it's Pride Month, and I could give y'all a history or celebrate the work of Marsha P. Johnson, Bayard Rustin, Angela Davis, Langston Hughes, or James Baldwin. But I'm sure you'll hear about them from the corporations that are newly enthusiastic about Black Lives Matter and are trying to get your Black Pride dollars for Pride Month. Instead, Miss Tabitha, Auntie Tab if you will, inspired me to talk to y'all about celebrating the Black queer people living in your own house. Come on! Black Christians, let me tell you something. Pan-Africanists, let me tell you something. The Black queer people in your family are not abominations. They are not hellbound. They are not contributing to the failure, extermination, or elimination of the Black race. Say it louder, please. An integral part of healing Black communities is inclusivity and doing right by the people we are tasked to love and protect. And we start by doing that by understanding where all this hate comes from in the first place. European colonization spread 3 things in this world. Number 1, white people, and therefore Eurocentrism, or the prioritization of European culture. Androcentrism, or the prioritization of men. And heterocentrism, or the prioritization of heterosexuality. And therefore, when we became free in the United States and had this pseudo-American identity, Black people adopted respectability politics to achieve a more nuanced American identity that white people would accept, to gain respect from white people, to avoid violence with white people, and to mimic white social hierarchies in order to later assimilate into white social hierarchies. But this day and age, all that's doing is maintain the status quo. Well, I mean, it's just not natural. Literally found in nature everywhere. Have you met dogs? Well, I mean, it's a sin. And why are queer people's sins the only ones that predicate how they should or should not be loved, protected, and respected? Well, I mean, it's just like, it's a white people thing. They brought that over here. And wrong again. Queerness can be found in indigenous cultures across the world, including Africa and ancient Egypt. I'm sorry, isn't Egypt a part of Africa? Yes, girl, but I don't think they know that. For those of you that insist that homosexuality is a European concept, you are incorrect. Scholars discuss its existence in West Africa, East Africa, Zimbabwe, Zanzibar, Angola, Cameroon, and Rwanda, just to name a few, prior to European colonization. Archaeologists have even found Bushman artwork on cave painting depicting same-sex relationships. What the white people did bring was homophobia based on parts of scripture they used to strengthen their arguments of why Black people were uncivilized and in need of salvation by way of enslavement. Preach to them today! I am so sorry, Lord, the white folks have just been using your word all willy-nilly. And the reality is that these are just distractions. Methods to keep us stratified and steeped in philosophy that will prevent us from ever banding together and achieving liberation for all Black people. And I am quite tired of the ideas that suggest that all Black people should focus on the Black problem first, as if there are not gay and trans issues, women's issues, classist issues, ableist issues that are also Black issues. Psst, they mean the Black male problem first. We know! And that line of thinking only projects another kind of violence on Black queer people when the straights want to skip past the accountability of harm done by their own communities and demand that Black queer people only focus on Black straight people problems. But the reality is we won't heal like that. Those none of us are free until all of us are free signs that we raised in the summer of 2020 also apply to Black queer individuals. And how are they going to be free if they don't get the same love, support, visibility, and respect that we ask for? And what many people don't realize about Black history is that many movements for Black liberation have been spearheaded by and driven by LGBTQ individuals. And it's precisely because the most desperate of us are most willing to take the risk, because what else do they have to lose? Huey P. Newton said that even the homosexual is revolutionary. Perhaps he is the most revolutionary. And how disappointing it must be for revolutionaries to be treated like sacrificial lambs for the people that benefit off the sacrifices they make. Goodness gracious, I say. Yikes.
So that is Lindsay. What did you think, Leah?
Okay, number 1, she was adorable.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous woman.
Gotta stop doing that to me. Anyway, but, oh my gosh, she had so much to say.
She had so much to say.
So well done in such a small amount of time. She said everything.
Everything.
I don't even need to comment. I think we just need to play the video again. Play it again. Listen to it again.
So guys, I'm gonna try to tag it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna tag it. You might have to go to her page directly, which I totally recommend doing.
Yeah.
To like see it for yourself, but it is amazing. She's amazing. She's funny. She is powerful and influential, and she's definitely gonna be making change. So, Leah, how would you like to get on our show?
I mean, why not?
I would love to get her on this podcast.
All right. 2021 goal. Let's go.
Yeah, let's aim for February.
Okay. All right.
So like here's a joke. Why, as Black people, like, we have the coldest, shortest month? Like, we already got the short stick. Like, and now we have February, the coldest, shortest month? Like, seriously? No, I'm just joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So, well, what'd you think of today's story?
Like I said before, I don't think that was the best decision. But, I think, unfortunately, that is a story that is probably very familiar across a lot of people's lives in this country, and that makes me sad on the inside for not only the racist part of it, but also the sexual orientation part of it. Why did I say it like that? You know what I mean? Yeah, it just makes me sad inside. Like, one of my wishes for this world is that we don't have to put up with that anymore.
Yeah.
But
well, mine too.
I do think that you shared the story with me, Lamont.
Yeah, I like listening to Lindsay, I could see so many parallels, like how like Black people had to assimilate to hold peace with white people, so they start mocking them and taking on their culture to be more acceptable. And the dad's like, hey, like, this is how we show we belong. This is how we show we have a seat at the table. We win this race. Like, that was him trying to assimilate to into their culture, you know, and feeling the need to do that, you know. But again, all the other points, like mom's praying like a cure for her son, like there's something wrong with him, not being able to accept the queerness in your own home, you know, thinking that it's gonna tear the family apart, tear America apart. Gay people don't want to tear America apart. They just want to find someone, or maybe not, to like be happy with, just like everyone else. So I hope you guys enjoyed story time. This is a real story. I changed a little bit of the story a little bit to make it a little bit more fun. But it's in a book called, dang it.
It's in a book called Dang It. All right.
You have to edit that out. The book is called Black Enough, and in Black Enough there are several Black stories in there. I think there's one more, like, maybe gay story in here, but I chose this one to tell this one. And this story is actually called, if I can get to the title, Wild Horses, Wild Hearts by J. Coles. So, we will tag the book in here for you guys.
Yeah, of course.
And we will tag Lindsay in here for you guys. And we will tag Leah's story in here for you guys. You know what, Leah? We talked about tagging Lava, I Love You in to the video, and we never did.
I know. I thought about that the other day. I was just sitting there, and I thought of that Disney short, and I was like, wait, weren't we supposed to tag that?
We can go back and do it.
Yeah, we can go back. But yeah, so make sure you guys check out all the links in our show description. We have all of our links there too. So if you don't follow our personal pages, Lamont has a few different Tumblrs for his different empowerment movements that he likes to put some good words out into the world with. He also has an Instagram and a TikTok where he does the same. My YouTube is linked below. I haven't updated it a little bit, but I'm still here. So yeah, make sure you go check out all those links. Check out the book. Check out Lindsay, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Write, comment. We will get back to you. I haven't checked it this week, but I will check it, and I will write whoever wrote us back.
Awesome. And also, since we're extending this ending out, we are going to be having a Q&A episode soon. I don't know if it'll be a whole episode or if it'll just be like an activity we do. So go ahead and message us any questions you have. I've also been posting it on Instagram, so make sure you look for those in our stories and shoot us some questions. What do you want to know about us? What do you want to know about our thoughts?
All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Today's life lesson is creating yourself. I've heard it said that one day you will find yourself. Find yourself? What does that mean? I know, and we can know, that we are not the bad things that happen to us. I know that we have the power to choose how we respond. I would say this is creating oneself. This is becoming. The lesson here is to understand that life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating who you want to be. What words will you say? How will you choose to affect those around you? Who will you be? What choices will you make that make up you? And the cool thing is, even if we're making bad choices, we can choose to change and make right choices. So we're always changing, we're always evolving, we're always creating the next best version of ourselves. So create yourself and love yourself.